65 million years ago, deep in the middle of the Milky Way galaxy, a giant space rock twice the size of our moon came hurtling into our flat Earth. This space rock was traveling faster than the speed of light. The impact would destroy all evidence of dinosaurs existing and wiping out all life on Earth. And this is when the great tilt occurred, changing life as we knew it forever. Deserts formed from water escaping from the ice walls, and the sun and moon harmonies creating for seasons. This is proof.
Oh my god, you made a song just for TikTok?
Yeah, you can come and watch me drink my morning coffee.
Proof the Earth is flat. Here you can see footage of the sun from the center of the Earth. You can see the sun locally traveling around our flat Earth, a phenomenon globers have not been able to explain.
Isn't it sketchy to you that we don't have a live stream of the Earth in entirety?
Oh look, it's just a live stream of the Earth. I found out by looking it up on YouTube. Why didn't you?
Where's the picture of us just getting to see the Earth and the Moon and the Sun all in a picture?
Well, I guess you could say here is a picture of all three, but I'm sure that's not actually what you wanted, because your standards of sufficient evidence are way too high.
Why don't we get an eclipse from the outside?
Because then it wouldn't be an eclipse. An eclipse is only an eclipse from our perspective. Like the moon comes in our line of sight with the sun. If we move our line of sight, it's no longer in line with the sun. So if I showed you a picture of an eclipse from space, it wouldn't look like an eclipse. It just looked like space.
Why don't we get to zoom in on the bottom of the globe and just see things upside down? Why can't I see a rocket re-enter the atmosphere?
Oh look, a video of the rocket re-entering the atmosphere. It's almost like you can just find these online.
Why do we not have a station with like high definition cameras and observatory set up on the moon already?
Because why would we? It's expensive and dangerous and doesn't come with any practical reasons of doing so.
Why did we not stay on the moon as the United States so we could have the most efficient tactical positioning in military history?
Yes, because taking days to get to anywhere on Earth is very tactical.
Why is it that we haven't been back there?
Well, we have. But even ignoring that, it comes back to my question. Why would we? We went, we saw it was there, we came home. But you want them to spend millions of dollars to go back just because a few nobodies online didn't believe them?
It's just a cult.
No, believing science is not a cult.
So right here, we have a video of a boat driving off into the horizon. A little while later, the camera zooms in, and as you can see, the boat is disappearing behind the curvature of the Earth. Not true! The Earth is flat and the boat is just sinking.
You don't actually believe that all of our ancestors thought that we were on a spinning testicular Masonic ball, right?
I have no idea what your name is, but I'm gonna assume that it's Siegfried Schneider. Now, Siegfried, I know that you flat earthers live in your own little atmospheric bubble, but believe you me that the rest of humanity has absolutely no misconceptions that people did believe the Earth was flat for the majority of human history, and it doesn't mean they were right about it. However, what they didn't know until recently was the phrase a spinning testicular Masonic ball, which incidentally I will be getting as a tramp stamp. Anyway, let's see what sort of evidence you have that modern science is wrong and that ancient creation mythos is right.
You've only believed that we're on this testicular ball since like the late 1950s, bro, when the Rothschilds took over the schooling system.
Oh, it's anti-Semitic. That's disappointing. In case anyone was wondering what happened to Rolf after the end of The Sound of Music, he went on to start a TikTok account. Gotta say though, this thought process, fucking hilarious. Oh no, after the 1950s there's been a huge amount of scientific advancement and humanity has benefited for the better. Who could I possibly blame this on? The Jews! No, but seriously, this is absolutely fucking disgusting, and I am horrified that this is even being platformed here.
Why did all of our ancestors have such similar depictions of the shape of the Earth?
Jesus, this guy's just doing my job for me. I mean, seriously, listen to that thought process. I don't know why all these people are trusting modern science. The only people I trust are people who lived 4,000 years ago. You want to know the other thing that doesn't match in all of these pictures? Which is the only one where they've invented fucking satellites?
The people that built the pyramids, or the people that still can't figure out how they built the pyramids?
We know how they built the pyramids. There are some areas that have multiple working theories because, as you correctly point out, we weren't there for it. But you would already know this if, in the words of Henry Jones Sr., you decided to read a book instead of burning them. You may be saying, whoa, Milo, comparing this guy to someone who burns books, that's pretty extreme. And yeah, it is extreme, but you want to see something? People believe this shit. I know that it's not burning books, but every one of these videos has people who genuinely believe every word he's saying. This shit should fucking scare you. This is an echo chamber. It is a place where only people who believe it will comment, meaning that none of these people will ever have the chance to have their worldview questioned. I've been tagged in a lot of this guy's videos, and this is going to be the only one that I will ever respond to. When you take your mask off and show that your conspiracy theories are rooted in hate and fear, there is no longer room for factual discussion because that is just how you feel. And how you feel makes me fucking sick. If you like what I do here and want to see more conspiracy debunking and archaeological videos, make sure to give me a follow. And also feel free to check out my more long-form conspiracy and archaeological videos, which are on YouTube. Link to that is in my description. And of course, follow me on Instagram and Twitter to get the unfiltered view into my deeply damaged psyche. Remember to stay curious, stay inquisitive, and most importantly, Rolf, remember...
Earth is flat. Prove me wrong. Why are shoes straight if the earth is round? Shouldn't they be curved like the earth they walk on?
Faking space.
I rapped in a program that did a Weird Weekends episode about rap.
Can you remember any of the rap that you did?
My money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds. I like to see you wiggle wiggle, for sure, and make you wanna dribble dribble. You know, riding in my Fiat.
You're so much better of an astronaut, Paige, than those other fakes.
Thank you. And if you're hungry in space, gotta have your floating Fritos to munch on. So I don't want to give GMOs any publicity, but it's all we have hanging around. Yum, yum, yum.
So it's all true.
It's amazing, the zero gravity. It just everything just floats around. Suck my hair because I got a ponytail. And Toots brought some coral up from Vieques, from Puerto Rico.
Yeah, let me see you push it up and down and around. Pull it back towards you. Oh, yeah, thanks. Yeah. Wow. Push it that way. Unbelievable.
Quick question. If we are doing this through space, Mach 88, 500,000 miles per hour, how do we have the stars moving in a circle around Polaris?
Whoa, go easy there, Stephen Hawking. You're really onto something this time. 500,000 miles per hour is really slow in the grand scheme of how big space is. The speed of light is almost 200,000 miles per second. Even though the speed of Earth is pretty small, the observable heavens will actually change in Earth's history, and already have. But since a human lifetime is like 80 years, we don't live nearly long enough to be able to witness any sort of change.
How do you have water without a container, first of all? How do you have water laying flat on a ball? How do you have this? Please, how?
Wait, what? Did she just say, how do you hold water without a container? The ocean floor is the container, and they also don't make Tupperware big enough to fit the fucking ocean in it. How do you have water lying flat on a ball? You don't. You have water lying in a ball on a ball, because the Earth is more of a ball than a flat, you dumbass.
How do planes fly straight and not have to adjust for curvature? And why can you go east to west?
You know how the cruising altitude of a commercial airliner is like 30,000 feet? By maintaining that elevation, you are accounting for the curvature of the Earth. You You just don't notice that the plane is accounting for the curvature of the Earth because the Earth is really big and you're really small. I also have no idea what this graphic means. Is this talking about aerial or like nautical circumnavigation? Because there's a pretty obvious reason that no one has sailed around the planet like this. As for aerial circumnavigation, they kind of do it all the time. Here are the flight paths from New York City and Los Angeles to Moscow. Notice how it's not a straight line? Because they're accounting for the curvature of the Earth, god damn it.
Why do you believe that Earth photos are real when it's been proven to be copied and pasted Photoshop CGI completely?
Facebook.com/FEMatters. There's no source quite better than a Facebook meme from a page called Flat Earth Matters. Can't argue with that one, folks. They really got us.
Why is nobody allowed to go to Antarctica? Why?
Ever told you that you are not allowed to go to Antarctica? The reason why not a lot of people do is because it's really far away, it's really expensive, and it's fucking Antarctica. So while I don't have the resources to get you a ticket to Antarctica, I'd be more than happy to chip in to get you another layer to wear on your trip. This video is 3 minutes long, and I've gotten through about the first 50 seconds of it. I really don't think I can watch any more without going into some form of cardiac arrest. If you want to see more conspiracy debunking videos, make sure to give me a follow, and if you think I'm slightly entertaining, feel free to check out my YouTube page where I do longer form archaeological and conspiracy debunking videos. Remember to stay curious, stay inquisitive, and most importantly, remember that if you tried to plug in a straightening iron at the Amundsen Scott South Pole Research Station, they would probably decide that you are better off as a food ration than as a contributing member of the party.
I have to admit that over the past week, my mind has been blown as to what I've been learning and looking into. I've heard about people talking about the flat earth before, and when people say it, it just sounds so weird and so wacky just because you're not used to hearing any of that. And I think mostly it's just because I had been so indoctrinated my whole life into thinking one way. But at the same time, whenever I was looking into it, I wasn't closed off to the fact that it would be a possibility. I just didn't know. I was just ignorant. But one of the things that really got me thinking was just the whole thing with Antarctica. And I just thought that was really strange that after Admiral Byrd went there and came back and he gave his testimony that he had found a landmass the size of North America, and he had said that it had resources and it was a spot that no one had ever explored before. Also, there was other testimony that his men were running into what they said an invisible force field, and it was demolishing and disintegrating their airplanes. And I thought that's strange. And then when they came back, they started with Operation Fishbowl. And like I said, I didn't know any of this. I've just been learning. So I didn't know what Operation Fishbowl was. I didn't know who Admiral Byrd was. But just trying to piece everything together. And I thought it was really strange that after all that happened, that Admiral Byrd came back and all of a sudden they start sending up these missiles into the sky. And you know, you can see footage, like old footage of it. It's not very great, but they're sending these missiles up and it looks like it's hitting something. And right after that, NASA's formed. The strangest thing to me is the Antarctic Treaty. No independent exploration of Antarctica is allowed. That was a huge red flag for me, and I was thinking, why not? If the Earth was flat, why would they try to hide that from people? And that was my question. That was my first question. Like, why lie about that? And the more I dug into it, I mean, the more it seems to make sense, especially if there's all this resources beyond the ice wall or the Antarctic Circle. If there's all these resources, then it kind of makes sense in a way that they're always, the governments of the world are always trying to make it seem as if resources are so scarce.
Earth is flat and global warming is proof. The government is worried about global warming because it is melting the ice wall around our planet. If the ice wall melts, the water will begin to drain from our ocean. Then the Earth will dry up and their lives will be exposed.
Pay attention. They know something you don't. This is the real flat Earth diagram.
Billions of people have circumnavigated east and west. 0 people have done it south. Nobody's gone south and popped up on the other side of the world.
Could this not be due to the treacherous conditions of you know, obviously the North Pole, South Pole? It's pretty tough to travel through something like that.
Let me show you some plane routes which might help you see this. So when you want to go from Buenos Aires to Perth, Australia, this is the route that they actually take. They stop in Frankfurt and Singapore, or they go this way. They stop either in Miami or Houston, and then again in Los Angeles, then in Sydney, and then Perth. Why don't they just cut across the bottom of the ball here? Bam. You know, oh, we're not allowed to go over Antarctica. It's too rough. It's too crazy there. Just go around. There's islands out here. Just go this way. It's a much shorter route. If the Earth is a ball, everything should be similar at equal northern and southern latitudes.
If you think the Earth is a globe, stop scrolling.
You globe people, that's the moon right there. And you see how the light is shining off those clouds? If that shit was really outer space, 27 billion light years away, it should be space lighted up between the clouds too, shouldn't it? It's dark out here. Them clouds over there too, you can't see them. But it's casting the goddamn shadow on these clouds right here. I think this right here is local, man. The moon and the sun has to be local, because if that was the case, if it wasn't the case, outer space would be lit up. But let me know what y'all think.
Y'all, I'm freaking out right now. I'm freaking out.
Because I'm looking at a daylight moon and he's looking at a nighttime moon at the same time. I'm by Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He's in Essex, England.
That's not possible on a ball. That's not possible on a ball.
You know how much the people of this world hate the truth and love theories. The Big Bang Theory, the dinosaur hoax. What? You think you're going into museums and seeing real dinosaur bones? Absolutely not, dude. Those are just castings of the real bones that are in the back that nobody's allowed to go see but people that are heavily invested in paleontology. They're literally saying that the closest relative to dinosaurs are chickens. No, you thought I was joking? No, they're trying to convince the world that birds are the closest relative to dinosaurs. That's right, T-Rex directly related to this chicken. But I thought evolution didn't work like that. Why would a dinosaur de-evolve into a... These people can't make up their minds with anything. First, they told us we were getting our car juice from fossil fuels, from dinosaur graves. That's right. Apparently dinosaurs were all walking to the same spots and dying in graves and creating oil. And they couldn't decide if these guys were scaly, had feathers. They couldn't decide on anything. Not even now. Let me guess, this one's name is Platypusaurus or something? Come on, people. It's time to live in reality. Electric cars aren't new, people. We were doing this stuff after World War II in Germany. Electric cars costing less than $1,600? Take me back. But seriously, people, this lie is just as stupid as this lie. Water isn't curving around an ellipsoid, or an oblate spheroid, or a pear, Neil. Nobody's allowed to go independently explore Antarctica. The flat Earth is not a new concept to this realm. The heliocentric model is. The ice caps aren't melting. There is no spin, there is no curvature, and gravity is not a fact. Gravity's a theory, and it's been a theory for a pretty long time. The longer something stays a theory, the less relevant it is. There's a reason Obama gave his speeches and made Flat Earth a mockery, and made it literally a derogatory thing you can call somebody. They do not want you researching it. But if you want to stay on your spinning ball, so be it.
As you can see the stars. We were never able to see stars from the lunar surface.
So Flat Earthers showed those clips claiming that proves that NASA is being contradictory. Of course, someone in the comments tried to explain why the difference was. And as you can guess, the Flat Earther responded, saying that it doesn't matter because they're still right. Because this is just what Flat Earthers do. They present evidence, and when that's disproven, they say, it doesn't matter, I'm still right. Cognitive dissonance at its finest.
I'm gonna call you back. Oh, Lord.
What the fuck?
If we were really on a ball, why can we not find the curvature anywhere?
Well, Jersey Shore, that's because the ball's really fucking big. You can't see the curvature of the Earth because you're not above it, you're on it. But if you want to split hairs, this horizon point, which you have in your picture, is probably about 3.5 miles away. On a clear day, a 6-foot-tall person would be able to see for about 3 miles before the Earth is obscured because it's a ball.
If a boat is really going over the Earth's curve, which is supposed to be a physical obstruction of view, why can you zoom in with a camera and still see the boat completely flat and level?
Yeah, the reason you can see it is because you picked a picture where the boat is not over the horizon line yet. Here, how about this one? Or maybe this one? Oh my god, here's a third. Your point makes no fucking sense. If the Earth really was flat and you didn't have to worry about not being able to see over the horizon line, they wouldn't have made lighthouses this big. They would have just lit a candle on the ground and called it a day.
Why do you believe that water can stick to a spinning ball 360 being held in without a container, using an idea to explain it, gravity that's never been detected, never been proven, the motion of the Earth has never been detected or proven, and the Earth's curve has never been detected or proven? How do you believe that the sky is 360 under you too, so rain is falling upside down? How do you believe that?
What? I have never in my entire life seen someone put air quotes around gravity. I really thought I was never going to have to say this, but apparently this is a distinction we have to make for these people. Gravity does actually exist. Oh my god. And rain is not falling upside down. There would be an upside down if the world was flat, but since the world is a ball, we perceive down as whichever side gravity is pulling us towards.
Why was the first time CGI was ever used and started in '58, the same year NASA was created, '58, and then the Antarctica Treaty was signed in '59?
That is A, coincidence, and B, the fact that the 1950s was a time of huge scientific growth in the United States. So here's a picture taken from a V-2 rocket in 1948. Earth looks pretty curved to me, but oh my god, how's that possible? They hadn't invented CGI yet.
And lastly, why do you trust these people to tell you the truth when we all can agree that they lie to us?
This is honestly the part of the video that pisses me off the most. Everyone knows that the people in the positions of power right now do not give a shit about us. So why the fuck are you wasting your breath talking about how they're trying to convince us that the Earth is round instead of talking about actual important social change? wealth disparity, gun violence, police brutality, redlining of black neighborhoods, environmental racism, oil companies buying our politicians. Why the fuck aren't you talking about something that matters? Thank God that video is over. If you'd like to see more conspiracy debunking videos, primarily archaeological conspiracy debunking videos, make sure to give me a follow. And if you want to see more long-form archaeological content, check me out on YouTube. Links to that is in my description. Remember to stay curious, stay inquisitive, and most importantly, remember that gravity was invented in 1935 when they invented CGI or something.
Hi, Flat Earthers. Explain this on your favorite Flat Earth map.
We all know that precisely half the Earth is experiencing day and the other half is experiencing night at any given time. So your model must reflect that, and this one does, but at the cost of being even remotely reasonable. You've got the sun illuminating half this surface with an arbitrary and rigidly straight line down the middle. How does this work? How does light leave this object and travel one distance to stop here, and travel some totally different distance to stop over here? You guys love to talk about refraction and such things, so please explain how that works. And that's not the only problem. Here, you've got the sun and moon always opposite each other. Well, sometimes we can see the sun and moon at the same time. How does that work? What is an eclipse? When in this model does the moon get under the sun to block it? How do they get on opposite sides of the Earth for a lunar eclipse? If the sun is very, very close and is also the source of all our heat, why doesn't it get hotter when you go up towards it in elevation? None of it works.
Do that on purpose, yeah. Have you always on my gas leg? No. Got Hulu Plus, don't need no Netflix. No. Don't make me beg, I'm feeling desperate. So please don't say no.